Thank you all for,
I could do it.
thank
I
you all
shut
for
the
coming
heat off, so-
today. I appreciate
or
your
cold
time
off,
very,
air off.
very much, because it helps us to not have to make sure every individual knows everything. So having a group of people just kind of really helps a lot with just kind of being able to cover it and giving you the information and trying to be consistent across the board with everything. We have the nursery handbook here, which I don't know if any of you guys have gotten this before, but there's just some other information in there, like educational as far as development towards the back. So you can just look, we're gonna go through it, but you can just kind of take it home and look through some of the other stuff too, just as a point of interest maybe.
It tells you at each age how they operate.
Or average.
Yeah, it's all, it says they develop differently.
The biggest things we kind of need to hit on is just things with the policy of the procedures that you're gonna go through on Sunday morning or whenever you're here. And so you can go to what it says, nursery policies. And we're just gonna kind of read through them. It's our policy that if a sick child, they are kept out of the nursery to protect the workers and child. Basically, if they have a temperature or something, if you feel someone's being brought in, I mean, you can bring it to my attention if you don't feel comfortable bringing it up to the parent or however you want to address it. I mean, lots of times they have, like Daphne's teeth and she has a little bit of a runny nose, you know, you just kind of got to go with your gut a little bit. And if it's something that obviously is contagious, then, you know, no, you don't want them in there. And usually, well, yeah, usually if it's clear mucus, but you can't always go by that either. But hand sanitizer is your best friend with the kids' hands. And you can tell who knows how to use it and who don't, because it's like, okay, you gotta rub your hands, you gotta rub your hands. So, I mean, I squirt that on their hands quite a bit. So even if they're not sick, it doesn't hurt to use hand sanitizer. Every child, and this is something that I don't think is happening as far as especially diaper change. Every child is either get taken to the bathroom or changed their diaper for each service. And sometimes the diapers don't really feel wet, but actually they are. They're just made so well that it pulls the moisture and it doesn't feel wet. So just towards the 3/4 of the way through, you know, the service, if they don't need changed before, make sure they get changed. And we're gonna run through a little demo, just the proper way to sanitize and everything during a diaper change. While I'm on the thing of the bath or the restroom, we're gonna go into that. It's, I'm not sure exactly what the law is, but we're making it a policy that no one is left by themselves with a kid, whether it be in here or going to the bathroom. So with the bathroom, everyone has to be taken out into the hallway, into the bathrooms, with the helper with you. If for some reason you don't have someone, you can always, you know,
The security guard.
use the walkie-talkie and get someone else to help you. Or you can always text me for anything, but you have to take everybody down, which is inconvenient, but we have to do that. And the reason why we're kind of taking this mode is that we just don't want to leave any open doors to anything. It protects us too. So no one can come back and say, well, you know, you was alone down there in the hallway and my kid says this happened or that happened. So it's a good protection to just have for ourselves. But we do have it in a policy that everyone gets a restroom break and a diaper change. So we just want to make sure that all the babies are, even the kids in here, are getting a diaper change. You want to do the behavioral thing with the timeout?
Okay, so for timeouts, we do the policy of, it never starts before 18 months. They don't understand it, so you can't use it. And really it depends on each child at that point. If they're clearly understanding you say don't hit and they hit you again, they're understanding that they're doing something wrong. But if they're laughing and think it's a game, say Daphne, who's 13 months, does it, she's not gonna understand a timeout. She forgot what she did already. She's gonna cry. So it never starts before 18 months. And really, I kind of want to make it 2, but if they clearly understand and are repeatedly doing it, then you can use it. But the timeout policy is a warning first. You always get down on their level and do a warning. So if Jaden is throwing blocks and I have asked him to stop, I get down on his level, look him in the eye, tell him, Jaden, I do not want you to throw a block again. It can hurt yourself or other kids, and you're not to do it. If I get up and he throws a block again, he goes right to timeout. You need to determine the timeout spot when you come in. It's up to you guys if you want to use we did have those little rugs.
Purple rug, yeah.
Purple rug is what I usually use. Oh, it's back there. It's usually here.
It's in the house for some reason, I don't know. I thought you guys just threw it there.
They might have done that, put it in for an area rug or whatever. But, so they sit down there and you get down on their level and tell them, Jaden, you're in timeout. You're to stay here he's 3, so it's 3 minutes until I come get you. If he gets up, you put him back, don't say a word. And that continues to happen until he sits for 3 minutes. I mean, he can move, but you cannot leave the mat, the spot. After the 3 minutes is up, you go over, get on his level again, eye level, and just say, I'm sorry you were in timeout, but you did not listen to me. Can you say you're sorry? At that point, he'll say sorry, or if it's a younger child, give hugs, whatever. Always encourage him, you did great at timeout. You can go play now, it's over, time to go have fun. And then it's over. I'd like to think it's that easy, but I know with my own son, he likes to get up over and over again, at least with me. He might not with other people. So yeah, the age determines the number. If they're 1, they sit there 1 minute. If they're 2, 2 minutes, 3, 4, and so forth. But it's always their choice. If they're old enough to understand it's their choice, you even want to tell them that. It's your choice if you want timeout. It's going to happen if you throw a block again. I'd like you to choose to listen to me and not be in timeout. So.
And obviously, I don't think we use timeout a whole lot or don't need to, but yet if it needs to be, the kids need to know we have a timeout, and this is across the board. And if it's not working, you can always call the usher to get the parent, instead of, taking up a whole lot of disciplinary time,
Our policy
with
is
one
10
person.
minutes. If a baby's crying continually, nonstop, 10 minutes, you call the security, say, I need such and such mom, this one's not calming down. Or if we have a situation,
The timeout is
the
not
timeout's
working.
not working, you have other kids in here, that you're not just one-on-one with that kid. We're nursery workers, we're not paid to do this. So if that occurs, like I know Alma, you had some trouble last week or a couple weeks ago? A couple weeks ago. She had a lot of trouble for a long time. At that point, you need to say, okay, I'm kind of done now. I have other kids. I'm going to call security to get their mom.
Call security.
You're a security.
And another thing that I know people have trouble with is the story time. Obviously, the young kids, like Liam, Blake,
They just moved in.
yeah, and I think that's the only ones we have in here right now that are that age. The helper can maybe have them sit on their lap or something. Obviously, you don't want them over there playing, but they're limited and they're learning. So, you just have your helper kind of do what they can do with them without them being a big distraction. And you want to try to get them to learn to sit, but obviously they're not going to probably sit there the whole time. So just do what you can do to help them learn
We have
that
a
this is
big-
what we're doing.
Big age group, huge developmental things happen between 1 and 5. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of age difference.
But I know we've also had some problems with a couple individuals not wanting to cooperate. And they just don't want to come, I don't want to do story time. We're going to sit down and do story time now. Everybody has to come and sit down. So we would like to have that across the board, every Sunday. And soon they'll start picking up on that. Well, you know what? I'm not getting away with it this Sunday, so I'm not going to get away with it, next Sunday. I have to come sit down. If they don't want to sit and participate, then as long as they're sitting at the table and there's no toys at the table that's a distraction, then that's fine. But I know a couple older ones have, refused to come over, and we need to really encourage them to come over and sit. And there again, if they're refusing, because we have 1 or 2 that are real strong-willed, I would suggest get the parent. And the parent can help you deal with that, and, whatever is the best way that they feel needed.
Susan, if you get the parent and the parent will sit with the child and help them, is that okay?
That's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
Or if they can calm them down and then leave, that's fine too.
I mean, I think one of the issues is that you're ending up, you don't wanna end up spending, 15 minutes trying to coax a kid over and they still won't come over. It's like, you have multiple kids in here and they're ready to, do their story and craft and they all have limited time spans. So it's like, I need you all to sit here and get through, stuff while you're absorbing, not be, dealing with all that, so. And the consistency is the thing that I really, really would love to see, because I think that's a big key with.
Helping them do it.
Yeah.
Do you think that we should probably try to stay away from involving the parents though, because they'll think I can do this and my parents will come up and sit with me, or
Well, that could
if
be
I
a catch
act
22.
like this, my parents will come and then it
Yeah,
seems
some
like,
are smart enough to use that.
and it
Yeah.
seems like when one gets sent down to their parents, the other ones are like, oh, their parents came, I'm gonna cry, so my parents come, and then it's like
Yeah.
a domino effect.
You're
So-
right, because that can be a catch-22. My only thought is, you're up here volunteering. It's not, I've had situations where I've strained my neck just trying to deal with a baby. Or, you're completely frustrated because, a toddler or an older kid won't cooperate. And that's, it's like,
Why don't we leave
if
it
you've
at-
gone to all these avenues and nothing's working, it's not your job to like,
Why don't we leave it at,
Do or
for
die.
an infant crying, it's 10 minutes, because we don't want them getting upset. Or a toddler crying nonstop, it'll be 10 minutes. Other than that, it can be your discretion. Can you still handle this? Or do you need a parent? And how
and
are
if
the
it's
other
becoming
kids?
frustrating or just totaling, obviously you need to get the parent and help. But yeah, I can see what you're talking about, that it could be something that's like, oh, a little tool.
Yeah, I know there was a
Yeah.
Sunday, they were just dropping like flies, one after another,
Right.
the parents were having to come get them.
And that was my decision, because I tried with the 2 people up here and it was not working. I prayed with them, I tried to forcefully do stuff, first to try to coerce them to do, not coerce, but encourage them. Then I tried, kind of forceful you need to, and nothing, and the 2 were just feeding off of each other. So it's like, you know what, we need to take you out because it's breaking down the whole room.
Yeah.
And so that was, I actually came up here and it was like, okay, after about 15 minutes, I could have made that call.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know it was a weird Sunday, really. It really was up
Yeah.
here, that realm that was
Kids
going
have
on.
bad days too.
Yeah.
Maybe their ear hurts or they're getting teeth and they just have, they're
Or they're
grumpy or they're tired, hungry, whatever, they act out.
Yep. So that's, for the most part, that's that section. If we go over to procedures, like a couple page over.
It's not, because we got new stuff.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, snack time, we are trying to find,
Healthy choices.
yeah, we're trying to find some healthier choices. These are more of an organic crackers that we're getting and trying to look into. At the same time, these are small, so just be careful with choking after we heard all that today. But anybody that has any suggestions,
Ideally, we do fresh, but it's not practical. So
yeah.
we are trying to think of healthier snacks to give our kids for a snack. That's also hard because then we have, Daphne's couple months from moving in here. She's pretty good for the most part with food, but she can choke. So you have that issue.
Is everybody good on snack
Because
time?
she's been so long getting tea.
All the snacks stay at the table, no
Two teas.
foods go anywhere else or drinks go anything, all the snacks stay at the table. You usually wanna try to, encourage to have a helper and let, one person help or
They
something.
usually like that.
Yeah, they usually like that, and then they can, I usually try to just say a quick blessing or actually I have one of them say a quick blessing, if I have a participant that's willing.
Drew's usually willing.
Yeah, Drew's always willing.
Dear Jesus.
And Drew loves his crafts too. Like that boy gets in here and cannot wait to do crafts. So it's funny.
That's
you
also
see,
a developmental, obviously preference, but he's into it. A 1-year-old's like,
Yeah.
You know?
And when you're in here, you know, you're in here and doing the rotation, you get to know their little personalities and, you know, what they have trouble with and, you know, what they love to do, and
Yeah.
so it's kind of neat. So under procedures, we'll just go through that, because this is some of the things that I want to make sure we hit on. Make sure you're here about 15 minutes prior to the start of the service, and I know everybody has stuff, but in general, just try to make sure that you're up here ready 15 minutes prior to the service. And new patients, I'm like bringing it back. If we have a visitor, we have, basically, the only thing that you need to do with the visitor is make sure everybody gets signed in. A visitor needs told that they need signed in. And you can give them one of these brochures, and it's just a little quick outline about the nursery. And the only other thing that I would ask is to ask if there's any special needs or food allergies. And just have them jot that down. And I have, that hurt, I'm sorry. And I have, over the nursery thing, I have here the child's name, and then a cell phone, and no drug, well, that's no drug allergies, but no, that's a habit. It should be no food allergies, but I just did it and didn't even think about it till now. And no special precautions. So this is all our regular kids, which eventually we would like to get some kind of a board on the wall. As far as a visitor though, just have it written down and make sure you pay attention if they write something down on that paper. If it's someone that seems to be coming back and is not just a visitor, we're going to actually have these.
Put it in here, pass it around.
And it just kind of has the registration of the child and what we have to have them to sign off. We have a video recording release that we have signed for, if somebody puts something on Facebook or something that way. And then just this that kind of gives a little bit of information about the child. And eventually we're probably going to have some kind of board on the wall that has a quick version of this page.
It's gonna be on here, everything's gonna be on here changing.
Okay. So that's, but the only time this will be given out is if the child is coming back, obviously, and is not just going to be a visitor. Make sure everybody gets signed in and signed out. But the sign in is the most, as you heard, that's you have a count of what kids are in here. Sign out's important too, but the sign in is the most important thing.
Yeah, so that's your lifeline if you're outside in an emergency and you're seeing which kids you have. If they're not signed in, you're like, oh wait, I think they were here. They're not in. Sign.
Right. The security personnel locks that outer door, I think at 10:30, the beginning of the service. And I don't think that everyone has been locking this door, but I would like to see that across the board, just that door gets locked too. Because if someone would get in, at least you have one more barrier that, is there for you. And you can see who's out there with the window and everything. So that is something that we need to be more consistent about too, is to lock that door. And that's at the beginning, when they lock that down, 10:30, you just go and lock that door too. We already talked about that everybody goes to the bathroom and no one is to be alone. There are a couple Sundays in this schedule that I didn't have enough people, and in those scenarios, we're gonna have to open the door in between, just so we have that protection, and that's could create other problems. It's not the
Well,
ideal
obviously,
thing.
it doesn't have to be open like it is right now, where it's
Right,
completely open, but legally we need to have it open.
and I wouldn't draw attention to that with the kids, because we have a couple girls in there that love babies, and so they're going to be glued to that, and you don't want that. And you can have noise from over here. If you're in here on a Sunday, obviously you don't want it to be so crazy that it's, really loud for the babies over there. it's not a very ideal situation that we really don't wanna have, but because I lost some workers, I just didn't have slots to fill in. So if anybody wants to take an extra slot, they're always welcome to. But,
And I think Jesse is our only guy, and I know we have some nursing moms often come over here. I think Jesse's pretty aware of it, just because, you know, he's been around me and stuff, but he normally won't go over there, and I think is he the only guy right now?
Mhm.
And he's fantastic,
Mhm.
so we don't wanna lose him. So, if the door is open and there is someone over there, you should go over or go by the door if you need something.
our camera setup. This is only as good as the people that use it. I mean, you can have the best security thing, but if somebody messes up, and then it's null. And I think I've gone through with everybody, but basically,
Let me go ring it.
yeah. And act like you're not in the camera zone.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, see there you can't see who that is. So obviously you need to push the talk and say, could you step over to the camera please so I can see you? And then you can push the view and see if you see her. Okay, hi Afia. So I know that's Afia, so I unlock. The bad thing about this is it doesn't make a click or anything, so they know. So if they don't come in, just hold it for a minute, I mean, and you may need to motion for them to come in.
Might not be a bad idea actually to just say good morning and they can come in. You know what I mean?
That's true, yeah, you could say,
Because you really can't hear it out there.
yeah, you could say, I'm pushing a button, it's unlocked, come on in or something, because it doesn't click saying that, you know, lots of times those kind of things, you hear like a little click unlock, and this doesn't. So people like stand there and they're like, okay, can you let me in? And actually you're holding the unlock button. So this, if there's any situation that you can't see the person or you don't see the person.
Did you press talk?
Yeah.
I did not hear it out there. I heard it through the door.
Maybe it doesn't, well, it's ringing, maybe it doesn't work.
We'll go back.
No, as soon as you hit the talk button, it should be.
Well, it's
I
stinging.
heard you through the door, but I didn't hear the talk.
Yeah, as soon as she hits the talk button, the doorbell sound should stop.
Hi, Afia.
I heard it that time. Were you not talking into it or something?
Maybe I wasn't close to it. Well,
You were
maybe
holding
I
it in.
held
I
it.
think
You-
it was
yeah,
holding it in.
I think
I
you
just
push
held
it. You just need to push it.
You just
Yeah.
push it, okay.
Yeah.
I would have held it
Yeah,
in.
it's supposed to be, no, it's supposed to be hands-free. Once you hit the talk button, the
I may have
communication's
held
supposed
it,
to be
so that's
hands-free.
probably, so just push talk, yeah. So, I mean, obviously, if you don't see somebody, you wanna have them come up into the, because it's awkward, because you have the toddler side and the infant side, and, you know, it's like,
Or
where do I
like Cindy did
stand?
with Shannon, she
Right.
knew it was Shannon's sweatshirt, but she just wanted to
and
make
was
sure.
expecting you.
Yeah.
But yet, she just wanted to make
Exactly.
sure, I mean, you're better safe than sorry.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the motive, so, you know, you're better off, kind of, if you offend someone, then I can apologize, but I'd rather, you know, not let someone in. And I didn't think about the visitor thing and having
Yeah,
someone
either.
be brought up. So, if we can get an usher to come with them, I think that would be the best case
Would be
scenario.
more polite too, I think.
Yeah.
Like, more
Yeah,
Well,
welcoming.
where
you're
they're
not just
going.
wandering
Right.
upstairs, I mean, obviously it's not far, but,
Yeah.
and then that way you see a familiar face, that it's an usher, that, you know. So that would probably be the best case scenario. If you don't know them, I would encourage, do not unlock that door. So, I mean, just make sure you're not quick to push that unlock, because like Cindy said this week, she had that situation that someone was let in, and then, you know,
Especially
you're
at the end,
exposed.
when you're ready to, for those kids to go, you hear the doorbell unlock, but that thing, someone could come get your kid.
And you're ready to unlock the door usually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unlock.
So is everybody okay with that? Okay.
Now that I know that you only press the top.
So does it have to be just the parents that pick up the kids, or?
It's
And find
supposed to
them
be the parent. I mean, we have
What we're working on is the,
a little name, not
Little
a name tag, it's some kind of tag.
that if someone else is picking, they have to have the tag. I don't care if you're Josh, you have to have the tag, or you're not
Because
gonna.
Abby will come up with
a lot. And
Abby
Right.
comes up and
Jaden.
gets my kids before I come, so I'm like,
Yeah.
if I
And
see her, I'm
that's
like,
what I
okay,
say, I
but
mean,
I'd
that,
like her to
we've
have the
talked
chat.
about that on a personal level, it's like, Afia, do you know, because it's like, once they're downstairs, it's like, okay, they're not my responsibility no more. And if you had a situation where you had, parents that are fighting over a child or something, you don't wanna, so eventually, we're going to get like a ticket thing, that if you don't have the ticket, I'm sorry, but you can't pick up your child.
Which in my situation would be very helpful, because then I can say, okay, you're gonna get the kids, here's the ticket.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And you
And I
know,
know it.
that so-and-so
And
got
you
your
know
child.
that Jaden's down there running around.
Right.
Could go out the door.
Maybe I should have asked this sooner, but now that we have the doors locked, do they get unlocked by one of the ushers when church is over, or is it just somebody that opens? Because I've never actually opened it, but when I've been in there since this has been locked, it's just like all of a sudden there's just like this hubbub in the hallway and it's
It's a
crazy, so
security
I didn't know if they just
Person, I know Bill has
automatically-
been there.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
usually
it's a
the
security
security
person.
Because it's
person.
just kind of like this onslaught all of a sudden, and then
Yeah.
it's just crazy, and then the whole sign out thing, like I've never even noticed if anyone
I don't know
had
that
their
we
kid out.
And
necessarily
see, that's
should have
the
it unlocked. I think they should stand there.
Yeah, in
But-
line maybe, like
Yeah.
one at a time.
Because-
so there's
But the
not
thing
a
of it
big
is, you're gonna have the
confusion.
door open and you're gonna have everybody just
Yeah.
come
Well,
through.
the other
guess,
thing is,
yeah.
like, I get Claire
Right,
Right,
and then bring Claire, you know what I mean? So you got the parents that go through the
Yeah.
other door that don't have to be buzzed in here, that
Right.
were buzzed in
True.
at Covenant Kids, and then
Right.
there's like mass chaos because
Yeah.
you've got people coming in both
yeah.
right.
entrances.
And the only thing
It
with
does
that
get
is just
patterned.
make sure you take your kids with you once you sign them up. But it's like, it would be ideal to buzz everybody in, but it's not
So if
practical.
there's any suggestions on how to make that flow go better, because it is chaos at the end.
Yeah, it is.
Well, and with the infants, sometimes you need to let them know, okay, they ate at such and such a time,
Uh-huh.
or they took a nap, or they did this, or so that the parents know what transpired.
And the only thing is, maybe
Yeah,
keep
with
this
the time.
door, try to keep this door shut, but then the parents can't come in with a carpet, so I'm not
Well,
sure.
It would almost make sense if there was someone, if it can't be an usher, but a nursery worker standing outside
And calling
and
names or
greeting the
something.
parent, like actually buzzing them in one by one or whatever. I mean, it would take longer. But then saying, hey, I'm just thinking about Claire's school. It's like, hey, Yetters are here. Yetters' mom's here. Claire and Drew, you can come to the door. It's like, it's all done orderly and safe,
Yeah.
and the kids are escorted to the car. Like if it was some type of similar, hey, Afia, Shiloh's here to get Zebby.
Mhm.
Let's get Zebby's backpack on, or whatever, get his shoes on. I mean, it would be a longer process, but
There
Yeah.
usually is a security person out there with a walkie-talkie.
Yeah,
that
there's
we
always
possibly could-
one of the
Yeah.
even
water.
if they on the walkie-talkie,
Yeah,
just
that's
said,
Right, right.
And
And
if
if
it
they
is an
can-
infant, mom or dad, like they step in, sign them out, go there, and get the information you need too, instead of having everybody like come on all at once.
The problem is that hallway's so small and
Mhm.
it's like, it's a
Mhm.
bad place for all that confusion to happen, I
Or
think.
what if we put a little bench or
Well, then
something
everybody's
outside
gonna
the
stand around
door?
getting their shoes on.
Well, that's
too,
what I
you
mean.
know.
What if we put a little bench outside the door and said, here's your kid, here's their shoes.
Yeah.
Can you go out I don't know, go out there and
Yeah,
put your
true.
shoes on? Because that is where the congestion happens.
We
Like the
could
kids are
move
sitting
their
in the middle of the
shoes out
hallway.
there, as long as, the parents
Well,
would take their
another
shoes
thought
off.
is to completely not even have the parents come in through this
Right.
door.
That- yeah.
Move the sign out
Just
over
have,
there.
maybe have an usher let you know when the service is ending, and then we can take the kids here. The only thing is you don't want them getting down the hallway, so you'd have to have a couple people doing it. That might be a thought to do. And then as the parent comes, have the checkout where they can get to it and sign and, no, I don't know how that would work with when you need to go down
Well,
there
that's
though.
that's what
Yeah.
I mean. And some parents are gonna come up that way
Right.
first, and some.
Right.
Here's another problem with that, is then you're taking out the personal, that sometimes the parents wanna talk to you about how their
Mhm.
child did. And
Mhm.
and then if you have them waiting out, and then that parent's taking a little while, you don't wanna
Well,
be like, I'm
interaction.
sorry, you need to go because we got
Well,
another.
if you have your helper and if you have both people that are in here
Yeah,
doing that,
because that, you don't wanna remove the personal.
Right.
The helper
Right.
could be getting the kids packed up and shoes on, and then the older worker could be communicating with the parent.
I know, the only thing about, we've had, some an individual take kids out there too soon, like they think the service is ending, so they're ready to get out of here, and so they've taken them out there and got them ready. And we don't wanna encourage that, because then it's like, okay, you're out in this hallway, and they may not be actually over just yet, so, yeah, so we'll have to kind of work on that and see how we can best handle that, but, so yeah, any ideas or suggestions, we appreciate,
I think
because,
that's the best flow for that. I like the idea of them signing out there, because then they have to do it.
Right.
Well, cause too, if you're, I'll walk back and it's like, Avery, mommy, like they're so excited to see you, they
Right.
don't,
right,
Except
You
for Jane,
forget
who
all
usually
of it.
tells me
Well,
no.
if we have them signing out there, why couldn't Covenant kids, they're on a walkie-talkie too, they could be walked down or sent down, like, you know what I mean, from down there, so no one, you know what I mean, parents wouldn't have to walk
well,
through
how do you
here.
keep parents from, what do you say?
Well, they
You
could
can't-
still go,
well, you don't wanna have to have a parent come up here, then go downstairs and go that
well, yeah,
way.
but,
And if they're
So
just giving
obviously-
Covenant kid, then they've gotta come through the whole nursery.
but I'm saying the kid could be sent down from Covenant kids over to here, through the hallway, like, or, I don't know. You know,
Take out the if Cindy needs to
One-on-one.
talk to them,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
hard.
it's just,
Yeah, I'm not sure, and, I mean, we're always up for suggestions, or if you see something that needs addressed or whatever, I mean, we're always up for anything that way as far as ideas or what we need to work on. We need to do that diaper thing, and the toy thing, I just wanna hit on the toy. We have this Clorox spray that can go on anywhere, and it just stays on. So if you obviously see, especially in an infant nursery, a kid had stuff in their mouth a lot, you don't wanna encourage, I mean, kinda during the time frame, you wanna kinda avoid one grabbing it and another one grabbing it. But make sure you spray stuff down with this. This can go on door handles, it can go on the toys. It's, safe for the toys over there. I mean, it's a quick squirt down and helps, it's a quick way to just kind of eliminate bacteria. And then we also have those wipes in this, so, you can't use that stuff enough when it comes to little hands and,
And then as far as toys too, the bins are labeled, I need to go through them again because they're getting mixed up. And,
I used to do it every week, I quit.
because I think the helpers need to be instructed by us that they're labeled for a reason, please put them in the right bins, because it's just a lot more work when you have to go through each bin, or if someone wants to play with blocks, you pull out, there's cards, not blocks. So, just try to make the helpers and yourself aware and put them back in the label box.
and one of the biggest things I want you to remember is to sign in, use the buttons appropriately, the walkie-talkie, and then in your emergency situation, 2 things. Grab the walkie-talkie and get that sign-in sheet. Everything else, keep the kids calm, blah, 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 blah. As the worker, that's 2 things that you've gotta remember. That walkie-talkie is your ear, and that sheet lets you know. So if you don't remember anything else as a worker, remember those 2 things, that you wanna, do those 2 things. And I'm not sure how, I thought about bringing that sign-in sheet, but that's another thing that, it's like, it would be nice to have that sign-in sheet in here, but yet, so the sign-in sheet will probably stay out there. We're gonna get it on a clipboard so that it will be easier to grab and it won't float off the table, but, yeah, so that's the 2 things that if you walk away, remember those few things. And then Afia's gonna do a proper changing, of a baby using gloves with the spray down and everything. We thought with toddlers, if you have a toddler in here that has a diaper, sometimes they get embarrassed when they start getting to the age of potty training. So you may wanna kinda take them over there and just kinda be discretionary and not have like the little girl standing over a boy or, because they're curious and, so it's just kinda try to avoid that or have the other person distract them or something, because it's not, you don't want them to feel funny at all. It's not, when they start getting to that age that they know they have a diaper on and feel kind of self-conscious. So we might be better to take the mat and put it over there, or just don't bring like attention to it as much as possible.
Is there not a changing table in that restroom?
No,
No.
no, the
Because I
only two,
always think like, wouldn't it make sense
Yeah.
at potty time to
Yeah,
just change
change them
diapers
down
down
there,
there?
And you have a
Since they all gotta
sink
walk
and.
down. They do
Because
have
it's
portable ones
sanitary,
that,
too.
that might be something to look into, because at the daycare, we had a portable one that you know, they're all portable, right? They're just changing tables, so.
Right.
But it had storage under it, is what I'm saying. Each kid had a bin with a diaper and then a little thing of wipes.
The only thing with older kids, you would have to lift them up onto that,
Mhm.
which sometimes could be an
Well, we had a
issue.
step stool that they kind of, at least got a little bit. But, yeah.
I mean, I guess there's no, that one in there is more for infants. You wouldn't change like Avery over.
Right, right.
I mean, another option we could do is just take this down there, but it's just the yoga mat.
But there again, you can't leave one-on-one, so you have to make sure you're covered by numbers to go down there.
Well, right. I mean,
Well,
you
you do
could,
it at the same time, is what she's saying, same time as potty.
but
break.
you could get back from the bathroom and then, one of them
That's
dirties their diaper right after.
Yeah.
It happens.
Doesn't really help.
got the runs.
We're thinking that, I always had the brown cover on there just because it's more comfortable, and tried to just take a blanket every week, a clean blanket, but in actuality, that's, once one baby's up there, it's a contaminated place, so we're probably gonna get away from that, but that looks so starchy and uncomfortable to me. So if the infant has a,
If they have one of those bigger things in their bag, or
Yeah.
a small blanket, if they don't, we have these in
that
there.
for that
So,
infant.
If
yeah.
it's like Elijah, and he's so tiny, you don't want them on
You don't
this.
wanna put one on.
So put them up, put that down, it's in the
And those are the
first
drawer.
What if we keep the brown pad on and get one of those diaper things that can be wiped? Then you're still wiping
That's
it,
true.
you know what I
There's
mean?
this little thing. We could
You mean like that?
No, like one of those ones you keep in your diaper bag.
Oh,
like
right.
a changing
Yeah, like a
bag.
little
That
Yeah,
can
that
be
counts
wiped
just
off.
you wipe.
For the.
Because we could just keep
Just
it in there.
parents don't
Yeah.
have one that they bring.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's
Should
true.
write that down.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna assume this baby had that. So first thing you wanna do, I know you all know how to change diaper, but you wanted me to go over this. So you'll get all their stuff.
The baby was really bad.
Yes, the baby's very
Well, I wanted to bring Daphne in and do a demonstration of flailing.
Yeah, you change her, you change her. So get the diaper, ointment, wipes, everything they have there. And then you'll put your gloves on, which are right on the shelf. Because we have gloves now. So obviously get 2 at a time, not like I'm doing.
And they are non-latex gloves, so if you don't have to be concerned that if
I don't
someone
have wipes.
has a reaction to latex or anything.
I'm gonna get this out, say it's a poopy diaper.
Charlie appreciates those.
So I'm gonna get my bag out, and then I'm gonna take the child. I'm gonna put him down, and, use the wipes, and always wipe front to back. And then if you see that they're red and they have cream, use it. You have gloves on, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Use the cream, put cream on them, and then you have their diaper. And open it up so the sticky parts are in the back. Lift both of their legs up. You always want to lift both of their legs up to their hip, so otherwise you'll cause hip problems and dislocation and all that. That's what Dr. Johnson said. So,
Actually, in reality, between the cleaning and the ointment, you should change gloves.
well, we didn't do that at the care. Okay, so there's that.
But you got a baby that's laying there.
Okay, so there's your baby. Diaper, good, and then I'm gonna use this as the dirty diaper too. And then you'll move the baby into a safe spot after. So you wrap the dirty diaper up, this is a poopy diaper, and so that you don't contaminate your hands, you wanna wrap the diaper up if it fits. If it's a bigger baby, it's not gonna fit, so use the bag first and put it in. But we're gonna say this one fits. So I'm gonna wrap my glove around, and then without touching the outer part of my glove, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna wrap it again.
Well, then you don't need the bag.
Yeah, I know, but we're gonna use the bag if
Well,
it's
it's
dirty.
just like an
Closes it
extra.
up and
We
seals
don't
it
use,
well.
you don't need the bag if it's not a dirty diaper, but if it's a dirty diaper, you're gonna wrap it up, tie it,
Oh, no.
stick it in the garbage can, then the baby's gonna be off. And I'm gonna pick up some free and clear baby wipes, cause I wouldn't want this on my newborn or anything. So you'll take a wipe, and then disinfect it. And you'll do that in between every single child, and then throw it away. And you're done.
And the mat is used, we usually use the mat over here versus the
Yeah.
wood thing.
What if it's a,
Spray it or-
like, one time Steph and I had a complete blowout?
Which
Is it okay to like call the mother to come up and, I mean, this was like,
It was bad. I was in
we
it.
dealt
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, because to
Stuff
be
don't
honest, and I don't mean
Well, 'cause
to
you're-
point anyone out, but Amanda Spangler uses cloth diapers.
Right.
And I've done that before, because, you know, it's like, I don't know what you want me to do with this, I can't, you know.
I know.
You can't be spending 10 minutes on home with cloth diaper, and what do you do with this now?
Yeah.
I can't just
She
stick it in
doesn't
your
even
diaper
do the
bag.
wipes, she does like a cloth
Right.
with spray.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
Oh, and then
Right.
we have hand sanitizer, so after that, you wanna use the hand sanitizer.
Amanda's pretty good about that though.
Yeah, she is-
always
yeah,
says,
she did
"Call
not
me if
mind
things
at all, and
change."
she had said that before, so I knew it was okay, but yeah, I mean,
This was bad.
I know.
Well, like, I guess this was that was my first time being over in this side too, so
Uh-huh.
then I'm
Poor
used to like the
Little
trash can
babies.
right there, and I didn't know anything about changing on the mat, and I'm like, we had to take his clothes off, and then I said, what, do we
But it
have
took
bags
both
in
of
here?
us.
We had to go over there to get a bag to put the clothes in, cause it had poop on them, I mean, it was really bad, and I was like, there's
And
gotta
I
be
was-
something else, I didn't know if it was cause we were in that situation, I was like, oh,
I was
crap.
early in my pregnancy, so I was
Yeah,
like,
she
I
was
tried
fine.
to help her, and I was like gagging, throwing up.
I would rather just do it myself, like, don't barf on it.
And to be honest, as they get a little bit older, it's gross.
It's more
And when it's
rough.
not
It's
your
more rough.
kid, I mean, yeah, try to do it, and I usually, but if my husband had to do it, like his kids, no problem, Mark always changed diapers, his grandkids,
Well,
no
right.
problem. But yet, when there was other
I can do
people,
it.
I mean, he'd be like literally gagging and, I mean, everybody in the house knew he was changing a diaper, because he would be so grossed out.
Yeah, some
So-
people are different, I mean, I
Yeah,
changed
I mean-
30 diapers a day, they weren't my kids, so
But
it's
some
not a
people
big
can't
deal
do that.
to me.
And if you're pregnant, I mean, yeah, you have odors and stuff, so, yeah, I mean, if you need to, do what you gotta do, cause like I said, it's
We
not
need
like you're
your
getting
help.
paid to do
Some of
this,
that.
you're volunteers.
Well, that's where it would be nice to have the changing going on in the bathroom because
Yeah.
it could easily get messy in here and get,
Oh, yeah.
you know, get on the
Especially
carpet,
if it's
you know, like.
If you got
Oh,
a
yeah.
smart kid in a bad situation too, you got
So,
trouble.
and that would
Well, yes, if
actually,
it's Daphne, she's, putting her
Kicking,
hands down
yeah.
here, and I'm like,
Because
God,
it does- I
flipping
mean,
over.
and they like to
and-
put their hands in it.
You're
Yeah.
gonna get the carpet dirty.
And
And
you got Eric, he's
smells
like,
the whole room up.
and actually, that would prevent like the other toddlers like going, so that might be something that we
Yeah.
can look into, is
Yeah.
having a station down there. My only thought is, I don't wanna have to be lifting a 3-year-old up onto that, or
Yeah.
having
Right.
people lift them up, so
Right.
we would need to make sure,
If there's
So-
the steps
the
stools in there.
steps are
it's
there?
like,
yeah.
The
But
steps
I
will
don't know if
usually
it would
help
go
them.
high enough, but I mean, you'd have to,
Shoot.
Just so you don't have them while they're in there.
I mean, they climb on everything else. They
yeah.
climb up on the changing table.
And you just have to
True.
make sure you're not one-on-one with them, that's the only
Yeah.
thing with doing it down there, but that might be an answer to
So
a few
let's say
things.
if they come back and poop, the security's there to help us. They can come watch you change diapers.
That's true.
Yep.
Or the helper
There you
who
go.
would take the older kids and just line them up in the hallway and just,
Yeah.
they
Right.
could stand there and wait.
Right. Oh, and another thing that and this I think was just fluky. This past Sunday, I guess Cindy usually tries to let the kids, as soon as they come upstairs, she lets Covenant kids take bathroom water break. And the nursery was coming out at the same time, and it was just like siblings seeing siblings and just a mess. So if there's any chance of avoiding taking them, if you have to, you have to. If it's, but if Cindy usually takes them on their bathroom break first when they come up here. So once worship's over, they're usually coming out. So if you can at all avoid that time frame, try to avoid it so you don't have like the sibling,
In the
going
drawers of the changing table, there's a nursing cover for a
Okay.
mom who forgets it and really wants a nursing cover. There's one in there. There's cream and powder if you see someone's like severely red and they need something and their mom forgot it. So
Should
that's in
we
there,
ask
and little blankets.
The moms, if have any sensitivity to any of the creams though, 'cause
Yeah, that's a good
some-
idea.
I would not put cream on unless they had it in their bag,
Yeah.
but
That's how I figure. If they've got it in the bag, then it's something that they know
Unless
that's
you
okay
know,
to
like if
use.
it's
Yeah.
my kid or
Yeah.
something and you know.
Or if if they have a severe rash, you should probably call the parent anyways if they don't have cream.
Right.
Cause they
And check
might
if
not
they
have
can
known
use
they
that.
had the rash, or it
Right.
might have
That would be
popped up.
something that I would discuss when the parent come up.
Yeah.
You know, when I changed them, I was, this is what I observed, but you didn't have any cream in the bag, so I hesitated to use anything else.
we have, oh, here it is.
Because, I mean, they could have
Have a good one.
just a BM that just irritated them right now,
Yeah.
you know.
We have, and we've had these, but we haven't really been very good at making them known. An incident report, and this, if anyone gets hurt, and if there's a mark left, we need to fill this out.
Absolutely.
And then this is just something that goes to the parent. And I would just, not just hand this to a parent, but talk to the parent. If you're giving this, to a parent, you need to talk to them and just make sure everything's okay. I know Jaden got like he said it was rug burn, but then it was up here on his neck and he said he ran into a door. It's like, okay, well what happened? So you don't wanna like open any door to, something happened and you didn't explain it, or the kid, goes down and it looks bad, it's like, okay, well, why didn't you tell me that he got hurt, So I'm going to have, some kind of like little valve thing, slot that we can just have these in, and we can just pull them out and fill them out and give this to a parent. So, I think that's it, unless anybody
Any suggestions?
has any questions or, suggestions, we're always open for suggestions.
I was thinking about that congestion with all the people, and they have these mats that you can buy, that you can roll out, so parents can step in here, because you're worried about the shoes, and the mat can be rolled up. Their shoes aren't gonna be terribly dirty, they're down in the sanctuary, but then they can step in here. They can get the bag,
And you can keep the door shut.
and you can keep the door shut. And then when they're ready to go out, or somebody else is coming in, the mat would be long enough that they can step in.
I thought of that too.
Yeah, that's a thought too. Because it's hard, because once that door's open, Blake is fast.
Oh,
And he will be down them steps
He's
in a
like
second.
gone.
Or, yeah, Parker.
Oh, yes.
Parker, I'm sorry.
Oh, I know.
Parker is so
Parker
fast,
is,
and
he
that
has
kid will
been
be out
fast
the
for a
door.
long time.
Yeah, since he was,
Run
even,
to the road.
Oh, gosh.
since he was moving, he crawled fast and
Oh.
ran past everything.
I know.
And so it's not really ideal to have this door open, because it's like, okay, I'm like guarding 5 kids to keep them in here while I'm letting another one out, So if
Right.
there's any way that we can keep that door shut and just open it per individual, that might be a good thing.
Parker's always been a mover.
Yeah.
I have a question about the walkie-talkie. Should we be wearing them, or should they just be, because I know a lot of us just set them on the table with us, but wouldn't it be better to have it on us? And then if someone would get past whatever.
It would be actually.
It would.
I'm wondering if we held the talk button, say, like, in our pocket or whatever, like I have this, hoodie, if security would be able to
That's not
hear,
gonna work.
what's that?
When I'm
It has
holding
a
the
clip.
baby,
How
that's
far
not
of a
gonna work.
distance you can be?
Well,
Wow.
like for here, like I'm saying, like if we talked
You got
about the
three infants over
scenario
there
of
and
someone
you're trying
being
to
in
juggle all
here,
around.
Right.
and I was like thinking, say
If
someone was
your
in the
walkie-talkie's over
toddler.
here,
Yeah, but say someone would get in here and we can't call or whatever, and we
Right.
can't